So, question for everybody here. Who ever had a really weird after-school or part-time job? A bunch of people, okay. I had kind of a weird after-school job. When I was in high school, I helped perform autopsies. Yes. And even more weird is, it was a family business. My dad was a forensic pathologist and medical examiner, and my whole family helped out. My mom, my sisters. We would show up at a homicide scene or site of a suspicious death and pile out of our minivan. And the state troopers and the detectives would just look at us, and you could tell what was going on in their head. Na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. My friends actually thought what I did was kind of cool, because most of my friends were horny teenage guys, and they were fascinated by the idea that I had on more than one occasion been in the same room with an actual naked woman. The fact that she was quite dead was only a minor point. Now, as you can imagine, I have seen some weird stuff. I have seen a guy beaten to death with a salami. Yeah. I have seen what happens if you die at home alone with a bunch of cats. Yeah. And I have seen a lot of autoerotic asphyxiation. If you don't know what that is, just wait and Google it at work. It's fine. Every time we had an autoerotic asphyxiation death, I always would wonder, what's the funeral going to be like? But the weirdest thing I ever experienced happened late one Halloween night in 1991. My dad and I were in a small town called Paw Paw, Michigan, which for beer fans is just down the road from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. And we were there in a old family-run funeral home. Just completed an autopsy of a guy who had died of, you guessed it, autoerotic asphyxiation. And the autopsy actually took a little bit longer than normal because this guy had died dressed completely exactly like Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, it was impressive. He had the hair, the makeup, the boots, everything. After we were done with the autopsy and the examination, we put the body in a body bag and left it on a gurney in the examination room because it was going to be picked up later that night and taken to the local crematorium. Then we did what my family normally did after an autopsy. We had dinner. Yep, we usually had a family dinner afterwards. Many times even it was barbecue. Except never after an arson autopsy. Yes, it does smell exactly the same. You're glad they don't serve barbecue here. So it was just my dad, the local sheriff, and myself sat down, had a late dinner in what we thought was a completely empty funeral home. After dinner, it was going to be a long drive back to the big city, also known as Kalamazoo. And I went to use the bathroom before we left. Now, the bathroom was next to the examination room down this long, dark hallway. And as I'm walking down the hallway towards the bathroom in the examination room, I notice a light on coming under the door of the examination room. At first, I thought we had just left a light on in the room, but as I get closer, I realize that it's not a fluorescent light. It's kind of a weird flickering light coming from underneath the door. So when I get to the door of the examination room, I open it, and there is a truly bizarre sight. On the examination table where we had just performed an autopsy, somebody had set up a makeshift altar with candles. And in front of the examination table, somebody had set up a video camera on a tripod. And in the corner, there's a pile of clothes and a boombox. And that's when I realized the body that we had just performed an autopsy on is gone. But I only had a moment to ponder that because that's when I heard it. A banging noise coming from the freezer. The freezer where we stored the dead bodies. And as I walk over to the freezer, the banging gets more and more frantic. So not sure what else to do, I reach out, about to open the freezer. And the second I release the latch on the door springs open, and I am knocked to the ground by something leaping out of the freezer. And as I'm falling to the ground, in the candlelight, I swear I could see a flash of naked flesh and lingerie. I don't know how long I was lying on the floor there, but as I get up, I look in the door there, and there's my dad and the sheriff attempting to restrain a college-age girl who's dressed only in bra and panties. My dad said they came running when they heard a woman screaming. I'm going to go with that was the woman making those noises, not me. Now, for somebody who just escaped near suffocation in a body freezer and is now likely facing trespassing charges, this woman has a lot of attitude. She's refusing to answer the sheriff's completely reasonable question of, what in the hell are you doing here? And is only responding by she keeps repeating, I'm a college student and I'm pledging the sorority. She said that over and over, as if any of those words would explain any of this. The sheriff reasoned with her and said, ma'am, you can either explain yourself or I can put you in a holding cell and your parents can pick you up dressed like this and you can explain it to them. So with an Olympic-level eye roll and fine, she explained that she was a student at nearby Western Michigan University. She was pledging a sorority, and her house's theme for Rush was Madonna's Truth or Dare. And so as part of her initiation, she had been dared to make a Madonna-style video in a morgue on Halloween night. And she'd been in the middle of this video when she'd heard me coming down the hall and had panicked and hid in the body freezer, not realizing that it could only be opened from the outside. Something that really bothered her. She's like, that is really dangerous. People should be able to open it from the inside. And we're like, that's never really been a problem before. The owner of the funeral home is called and quickly agrees not to press charges because in a place like Paw Paw, Michigan, this kind of thing will be all anyone talks about for months, and he really doesn't want word of us to get out. Also, he figures her being locked in the body freezer was punishment enough. As she's gathering up her clothes and her boombox and the camera and all, my dad remembers to ask the really important question, where's the body? She looks genuinely confused. What? The body that was in the body bag on the gurney. And in an instant, all of that attitude and confidence suddenly evaporates. She says, I thought that was like luggage. That was a dead body? And I touched it? That's nasty. Turns out she had pushed the gurney down an adjacent hallway to make room for her camera. So, as I said, I have seen some weird things. But up there is the sight of a half-naked college girl shuffling out of the morgue, mumbling to herself, why is there a body here? Why is there a dead body here? As if the dead body, rather than the half-naked college girl, was the thing out of place in the morgue. Thank you.